Oh, yeah, it has been a damn day. So, today was 45's panel at the National Association of Black Journalists. Um, so much to talk about. So, let me just go in full disclosure. Childless, husbandless, sociopath here. So before this panel and after this panel, my stance has been solid. I will not vote for a racist. I will not vote for an adjudicated rapist. I will not vote for someone who pals around with child molesters. I will not vote for someone who talks about how if his daughter wasn't his daughter, he would have sex with her, and not in those terms. Like, ew, what the F? What the F? Really? Like, so this panel didn't change my mind. It didn't open my eyes or anything like that, but it was a doozy. I think that what's the elephant in the room is the remarks he made about Vice President Harris, her race, the sort of just incomprehensible concept of a biracial person seemed to confound him, to be an issue for him. Somebody should look into it, apparently, which is weird. And it's not weird, it's racist. It's racist, point blank, period. It's race baiting, it's disgusting, and it is truly, like, calling it weird it's dismissive. It's not calling a thing. It's racist. It's beneath this country. His behavior and what he's saying and what he is doing should have been rebuked unanimously by this country years ago. We are paying for that now, and we will continue to pay for it if we don't call a thing a thing. So let's just be clear. So, but even aside from his disgusting remarks and racist remarks, so look, this man said that he was going to pardon the January 6ers, the protesters. Nobody died that day, which is a lie. We sat here and we watched people storm the Capitol to try to overturn and keep their guy in office. We literally watched, by a very narrow margin, democracy almost fall that day in our country. And he's going to pardon them. He is trying to present them as just protesters. Outrageous, disqualifying for the office of president, 112%. He kicked the crap out of Latino people, out of Mexican people. They are awful. They're overrunning this country. They're invading this country. I mean, the language, the dehumanization of people who are trying to migrate here, whether legally or illegally, is just disgusting. They're being released from mental institutions and coming here, which that's ableist AF. Because, I mean, just the depth that this man will go to try to turn us against one another is sickening. We did find out what a black job is. It's, as we probably imagined, it's any job that's held by a person. He said a person. I'm assuming he means a black person. So any job that a black person has is a black job. So if you are employed and you are black and you have to be black, not biracial black, I guess, because that don't count. You have a black job. So good for you. And he's going to save your black jobs by rounding up immigrants because they are taking your black jobs. Just summing it up so you know what's happening. He talked a little bit about why he picked JD Vance. And look, you picked JD Vance, I think, because one, they told you that man was a businessman, which, that, there, he went to Yale, like, oh, okay. He wrote a book. Oh, that was made into a movie. It has a lot of views on Netflix. Sold. He didn't need to hear anymore. He saw somebody who could potentially be a star, which he loves. He likes that. Even if you are like B, C, D level star, he likes that. He likes to be adjacent to that. And he picked his VP. Now, do I think that he doesn't align with JD Vance's other beliefs? I think he absolutely, look, I don't think that man trying to control everything and everybody and being a dictator, even for one day. Look, this stuff that JD Vance is talking about of trying to control women's bodies and forcing them to spawn whether they want to or not, and my opinion don't matter because I don't have kids. I barely should be able to vote, but I should be paying taxes and higher taxes than everybody else, which I do because I don't have children, and there's already things on the book that give parents tax credits, but whatever. Apparently, a sitting senator doesn't know that. I absolutely don't think, I don't think that 45 is not a policy wonk, but doing things that torture people and elevate others above others, he's 100% down for that. So I just, reflecting on today and then being on Twitter and watching the news programs recap, and what he said about Vice President Harris's race or questioning her race, it's repugnant. We have seen him do this before with the birth certificate and the birther stuff, and it's the whole they shall not replace us crap that he's been doing and that he believes in wholeheartedly. But the other elements of what he said gives you a glimpse, tells you what he's thinking in terms of what he's going to implement. And I think that the media, and I think we as people, dove and dive on one part of it and not all of it, because there was nothing that he said on that stage that wasn't just awful, that did not paint a bleak picture. Everything is doom and gloom with him, and his fixes for doom and gloom are racist, are misogynist, are xenophobic, are elevating the rich over the poor. It is awful, and we don't do nuance well. We are going to hear so much more racist stuff from him, and 100% do not dismiss that, because he is a racist. Let's call it what it is. He is a racist. But being aware of, even though oh no, I don't know anything about Project 2025, what he's saying is still linked to that, and that is still his roadmap. So I just wanted to take a step back, and as maddening as just even listening to that man speak is maddening for me, but the race piece, but giving that the time that it deserves, but not discounting all of the other things that were said, because these are things that, whether it's him or a different Republican candidate, whether it's a governor, whatever, this is what they're planning to do. So not discounting any of those other elements, and those other pieces of that he's talking about, and the immunity for police officers, the fact that he didn't even know anything about Sonia Massey. I mean, it's not shocking, but it's sad that that is not even on your radar screen of people being murdered, and that's a huge concern for black people, black women, black men being murdered by the police. But this blanket immunity that he wants to give to the police, so that we are all black, white, and other, we're going to be living in a police state, because the police will have the ability to do whatever they want without any repercussions. Like, make that would make sense. Like, that doesn't make any sense when people can do that. And especially people with badges and guns. Like, seriously? And this is not even somebody who respects the police, respects law enforcement, respects laws. But again, he doesn't think those things apply to him, so it doesn't matter. They can have immunity because they can't do anything to me, because of course he has immunity now. This is absolutely I want to say the worst time, but I don't want to discount our power to address and fix what we see is wrong. It's going to take some time to dig out of this hole that we dug ourselves into with the Supreme Court, and even allowing this man to get one term, but we cannot allow 2 terms with this person. And we need to be very clear that we are rejecting the policies that are in Project 2025 that are coming out of some of these Republicans, of trying to control everything about who we are, to the point where we don't even have the right to read the books that we want to read, without having to go through some crazy process outside of just going to our libraries anymore. Like, that's wild to me. Yeah, we need to be vigilant. We have to stay vigilant for years to come. And we're going to hear this is the most consequential election of our lives for years. And it's not a lie. Unfortunately, it is not a lie. And if 2016 through 2020 taught us anything, it should have taught us that, man, you can't miss a vote. You cannot miss a vote. You can't take anything for granted. And they're not both the same. Both parties are not the same. We need to cut that out, because we need to have learned from what we've been through, and make sure it doesn't happen again. But those are my night thoughts. Love to know what others are thinking. After today, after he was on full display, after 45 was on full display again, in a way that he hasn't been in a while, unless you are going to his rallies. But if you're going to his rallies, this probably is not upsetting to you. But yeah, would love to know what other people are thinking, because, Lord, he showed out today. And, thankfully, he reminded us all who he is and what he's capable of. All right. Night night.